God, it's been so long since I've done one of these, I'm almost out of practice. God, it's like riding a bicycle or giving a wood to your girlfriend. You get in there, you remember how you're doing, what you're doing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen from the Bat Cave. Mr. BBI is taking care of yet one more amplifier. Richard, it's your 10 pill, bro. Richard sent me this thing. He says, all burned up, don't put out no power, help me out. None of the little 10 ohm resistors are burned. Well, it's true, but almost. We get down in here and we started looking at the little telltale, oh, you got transistor burned 10 ohm resistors. And there's a difference between brown, black, black, gold and brown, black, green, gold. Richard had taken this to another buddy of his that is a little bit older in time and eyesight starting to slip a little bit. The gentleman helped him out, but he put some 1 meg resistors in that place, and each one of those 1 meg resistors where they were, which happened to be every other pill in the box. Poof. So I talked to Richard on the phone. The man says to me, well, while you're in there, give it the BBI effect. I said, all right. So when you bought this directly from you-know-who, what was the most you could ever get out of it? And he goes, 13 to 15 peak on a dozy meter. I was like, say what? So he repeated himself, and I said, well, let's see if we can do a little bit better from that. So Richard went through and moved these around, so now they're evenly spaced instead of just piled down here on this end of the cabinet. Now, like I said, several people have been in and out of this box. As you can see, the tuning tubes moved around, and there's a big old lake of solder here on the board. But I went through and I pulled all the big chunks up, got the board all cleaned up, and tacked everything down the way it should be. And went through and checked every cap in the box, and well, I replaced all the power leads with stuff that can actually pass current. Put some mirror boards in it. Oh yeah, and put 10 match Toshiba, not DEI, but Toshiba 2879s in this puppy. All matched soldiers. And the other thing he told me is, man, I don't want this box to ever get hot and burn up on me again. I said, dude, well, I got the cure for you. Right here. It's a thermal cutout switch. It cuts out at 160 and comes back in at 120. It'll simply prevent you from being able to key the keying relay. Amp will still run, fans will still run, it'll still get cool, but you won't be able to key the box. So you gotta wait for it to cool down, and then it'll come back to life. It's a little thermal interrupt. Stuff people used to do back in the day when they actually cared about the cost of the box. Gone are those days. Let's go over and let's talk about your fans real quick, Richard. You said, I popped the tin off and there was that Radio Shack fan in there. Well, brother, tell me where it was. Because I went in here and I fixed it right. Even matched the maker of the fan for you. Because that's the way we roll at BBI. We care about our customers and we don't bag on them on Facebook. Anyhow. Let's fire this puppy up. Today we're going to work with the base 2-pill, or the workbench 2-pill, 66V, the 955, 5,000 watt slug, 1,000 watt slug, 5 watt slug in a verse, and of course we're always, as always, going into the Bird 10,000 watt dummy load, which is sealed and grounded so I don't bleed into the atmosphere. Yada yada yada, for experimental research only, really. And we're going to hit this with the 66V. And that's half a kilowatt. That's 500 peak watts with 20 watts worth of drive. Now here's your input reflect, Richard. Hello, 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 hello. That's spot on the money now. And it shows 20 watts in gets you 500 out. So let's turn it up a notch. We're going to take that variable, we're going to turn it all the way down. All the way down. Just lay it in the corner, because that's the way BBI rolls. Reach over here, we're still keyed. There's a 300 watt, 400 watt, 5, 8. There's a kilowatt dead key right there. How much y'all want to bet that we surpassed the stock wattage? Transformers aren't humming as hard. Not pulling hardly no current. Now we're at the 2x position. So, in the middle scale there, actually on the bottom scale, 50 would be 1,000 and 100 is going to be like 2,000, right? So there's our 1,000 watt dead key right there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I think I did better. So now we're going to go down to 5x. 5,000, okay? 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000, boom. There's our 1,000 watt dead key. Remember, we got the variable way down. Now that's 2,800 watts. But let me show you what I'm putting into it. Amp on. Drive. Let's go back to the 1,000 watt scale. We're putting just about 250 watts worth of drive into this box. Change some stuff around, and I'll be right back. Alright. So we got our little 2-pill hooked up, and now we're running on the 955. So we're going to pull the 2-pill out of line. We'll shut the big box off, and we're on the 1,000 watt scale. That's all we're putting into this puppy for drive. Richard told me he's got about a 400 watt radio. Hello, BBI. Hello, BBI. So we're going to swing about 400 watts into this puppy. I bet you we get right up there to the $3,000 mark. What you think? So we'll go over here and click that down into 5x, and now it's reading like a 5,000 watt slug. Hello, BBI. Hello, BBI. Let me grab my 5K slug. We'll be right back. Alright. Here's your 1,000 watt slug. Set that aside. 5K slug. PEP, 1X position. Audio. Works exactly the same. Richard, my friend, she's done. The other thing I wanted to point out is I went ahead and I did the blocking on the vents, so you can actually have airflow that goes across the heatsink and cools the components instead of just letting it all run out the back of the cabinet. It costs $1.75. Anyhow, my name is BBI. Richard, I appreciate you sending this thing up to me and letting me work on it. Sorry it took me so long to get to, but I'm a very busy man, backed up multiple months, and I apologize for that. Doing the best I can as a one-man band. Come check us out, www.bbiamps.com, because I'm lucky enough to get to build some of the coolest shit on the CB today. no shame to this mud duck's game. And I am the biggest mud duck in Idaho. I'll see you. Bye.